Hello and thank you for watching this. This is part 2 of MicroCue3 and its operation. In the last year or so we've added a few improvements to the product based on your suggestions and wishes. I'd like to take you through to what we've got. So bring you in closer to the screen so you can see what we're looking at, and then we can take you through each one by one. You can see in the top corner here I've actually got 2 units connected. And you saw earlier on that I've got 2 units connected. Saying is the 06 on here said there's no handsets are on this unit, but there are 6 handsets on the alternative unit. It's telling you that 2 are connected, that's why I've got A and B, and if I push remote control then it's working as show it is. You'll also notice that the battery on this handset is low power. You can see that by the TX battery showing only 1 division. It's been like that on my handset on my desk for about the last year, and I've been using it to test this feature. So that's one to be aware of, that if you get a low battery, please by all means change it next time you see a low battery marker, but don't panic if you're halfway through a show and you start seeing it. You've got a long time before it fails on you. Right, so I'm going to go straight into the menu. So hit the center button, go to the menu, and I'm going to go down to settings. Go into settings, and we've got what we've seen before. Brightness, of course, allows you to set the brightness of the display. Unit ID tells you just what the unit ID is. Diagnostics will tell you what the connections are like. Just quickly jump into there. We're saying that it's power at the moment. I've got this unit actually powered off the USB. That's why it's really 1.1 volts. It's negligible. You can't run the I2 net on that. Balance is okay. That tells you whether there's any problems like pin 3 is tied to pin 1, that sort of idea. RX and TX are just data packets going backwards and forwards, and that's because we've got numbers which are equally about the same, and that's great because that means that the information is going backwards and forwards between 2 systems. CRC is just checking that everything's okay. If that number keeps on increasing, that means there's a cable fault and data is getting corrupted. Non-volatile memory means how many times that we've updated the system. We don't know what that's going to be like for everyone at the moment, but it's just feedback for us, and it's going to run into the thousands, so you don't have to worry too much about that one. It's just a metric for us. Right, back out again. Down to the blackout button. Now the blackout button on the handset, on the 3-button handset, as you know, you can have it enabled or disabled. You can have a blackout button on your handset or not. If you end up with a handset that's got a blackout button, what you can do is you can turn it on and off. So by using the center button, we can disable it. If we come back out to the top screen, then now we've got NB. Can you see that? NB, no blackout button. So that's useful if you've got a handset and you don't want to trigger. What you'll see on the screen is you'll see the unit, but with a line through it, just to say that feature it won't actually make a cue. You'll see it as a technician that's going on there, but it won't do anything for you, which is quite useful, we think. Back into the settings, back into the blackout. Let's turn that to normal. Queuing, full lamp only. These are the 2 options you've got under queuing. Now this is very useful because this means that if you want to have it in technician mode, see TM, technician mode, then what will happen then is that this will only give you a visual and audible if you've got your headset plugged in signal on the screen, but it won't action these ports that are available to you. If you want to action these ports, then plug an external keyboard in or plug a wired button in. So you as a technician then you're in control as to what will go to the machine. So if you've got a nervous presenter or a presenter who doesn't know the script very well, then you can action it that way as well. So it gives you another level of control to make sure that the show goes well. That's what technician mode is all about. So I'll just take that back off again. Now there was one other setting here, remote, and I'm going to pull this camera out just so you can see the other unit, and we'll get that back in as well. So I've just put the 2 MicroCue3s in the frame so you can see them both together. and I'm going to set these up for remote control. At the moment you can see that we've got actioned on port 1 and port 1 on this one here. They're both plugged into the computer behind. We're just using the USB connector because that's what I've got, and it's plugged in with an XLR cable behind it between one and the other, and that's how they link together. If I go into the menu setting on this one here, and if I go down to remote and click onto here, it says disabled. If I rotate it, it says permitted. If I now go to this unit here and I go to remote, it says disabled, and this is going to come up permitted. So both of these now can talk to each other. They can control each other's units. If I now select on here the permitted unit, remote permitted, go one more, there we go, we can now start controlling this unit. I'm going to jump out of this one just to show you. You don't need this because obviously in a show you wouldn't necessarily be in this mode. It'll be in this mode here and you'll be running your presentation. I'm going to start to control it, and what you'll see is these buttons down here now will then light up to show you that you're in this control. Now if I select this one, I can now turn off the unit onto there. If I now select this one, I can select that as well. This is not flashing because it's talking to this unit here, and vice versa. This will be useful if you've got a MC3 on the lectern and you can control it remotely, so it is only being activated at that time. Normally it would be off and your presenter on the lectern wouldn't control it. When you come up to their speech, you could go into this mode and you can turn it on and off, and then you can control how they would affect the PowerPoint presentation. Press this to an end and then we're back out again, and it's doing exactly what it should do, and we haven't got that feature anymore. I think it's a nice way of actually making some controls for your technician to make sure everything's okay. You can go back in again and you can see what it is. Let's get this one up. There's nothing on there at the moment. If I go into the menu, if I go to remote, if I go to permitted, press to see what it is there, and now it comes up and tells me that this is the two that's on there. It's also telling me it's controlling as well, so you can see what's on there, and I can take these ones off and leave that one on. I'll put it back on again. Just a nice way of doing things. If you do press a button when you've got this in there, it'll jump straight out anyway, so you'll have that control. So if they do push a button halfway through, it'll ignore all the settings you got, so you can still see there's a queue going on.